Have you ever wondered where our soul truly comes from, and why it chooses to incarnate in this world so full of challenges and mysteries? Perhaps at some point in your life, you felt that sense that there's something greater guiding our steps, something that can't be explained solely by the circumstances we experience daily. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover can completely transform the way you understand your existence and the purpose of your journey here on Earth. At the heart of Spiritism lie profound teachings about the soul, and no one better to guide us through these mysteries than Emmanuel, the mentor spirit who worked alongside Chico Xavier, bringing messages filled with wisdom, comfort, and light. His words transcend time and help us understand not only our origins, but also the path we take in the material world, revealing the beauty and depth of the spiritual life that precedes our incarnation. Imagine for a moment that your soul, even before birth, already possessed experiences, learnings, and a unique essence, ready to fulfill a specific purpose in this life. Emmanuel reminds us through Chico Xavier's psychographies that each of us is the result of a long journey in the spiritual world, and that everything we experience on the physical plane is a continuation of this evolution. Have you ever experienced moments when you felt that nothing in life happens by chance? That some situations seem planned to teach us something essential? This perception, although subtle, is precisely what the Spiritist Doctrine invites us to explore. The fascinating thing is realizing that, according to Emmanuel, the soul doesn't emerge from nothing. It forms, molds, and prepares itself in spiritual spheres before choosing to incarnate. Every detail of your journey is designed so that you grow, learn, and evolve, even if you don't always immediately understand the challenges you face. And it is precisely this preparation of the soul that explains so many experiences that seem mysterious or inexplicable in our daily lives. What you're about to discover now may surprise you. Understanding where we come from not only clarifies the origin of our soul, but also gives us valuable clues about how we should live, act, and relate to others. And it's not just theory. Emmanuel's messages, transmitted through Chico Xavier, are living examples of how knowledge about the soul can bring us peace, hope, and a deeper meaning to every choice we make. Throughout this video, you'll realize that every difficulty, every joy, and every encounter we experience has a reason, a greater purpose that often escapes our immediate vision. Stay with me, because together we will explore this fascinating journey, unraveling step by step the origin of the soul and its arrival in the material world, revealing secrets that can change the way you see life and yourself. But before we delve into the details of this incredible journey of the soul, it's important that you be open to reflecting, questioning, and connecting with something greater. The spiritual knowledge we'll share here isn't just about theory or belief. It's about feeling, understanding, and applying wisdom that spans generations in your daily life. Emmanuel invites us to look within, to recognize that we are immortal beings in constant evolution, and that each experience in this world is a unique opportunity for learning and growth. Now, prepare to take the first steps on this journey of discovery. Together, we will unravel the mysteries of the soul, understand how it forms, how it chooses its path, and what it truly means to reach the material world. What you will learn next can transform the way you view life, your relationships, and even the challenges you face. And as we progress, you will begin to perceive a profound connection between the spiritual world and your everyday reality. A connection that can provide answers to questions you may not have even known existed. Have you ever stopped to think about where your soul really comes from? How can something so intimate and profound, carrying our purest essence, exist even before our birth and accompany us throughout our lives? Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover now could transform the way you understand your own existence and the meaning of the experiences you have in the material world. In Spiritism, especially in the messages of Emmanuel, received through Chico Xavier, we find fascinating teachings about the soul, revealing that it is eternal, immortal, and the fruit of a long journey in the spiritual world before incarnating. Each of us carries within us a story that began long before birth, a journey filled with learning, challenges, and opportunities for evolution that extends beyond time and physical space. Imagine your soul as a divine spark, a light that exists before the body and brings with it all the experiences it has accumulated in other spiritual planes. Emmanuel teaches us that this spark does not arise by chance, but is the fruit of constant evolution, of choices made and lessons learned in spiritual spheres that precede our earthly existence. Have you ever felt that sensation that certain situations in your life are not merely coincidental? That some people and events seem to have been placed in your path for a greater purpose? This is exactly the kind of understanding that the Spiritist Doctrine offers us. Understanding the origin of the soul helps us realize that nothing is random, that each experience has a profound meaning for our spiritual growth. According to Emmanuel through Chico Xavier's psychographies, the soul carries with it a wealth of experiences that guide its trajectory and influence its choices. He reminds us that we are beings in constant evolution, and that every trial, every difficulty, or joy we encounter in material life is a learning opportunity, a stage in our journey of improvement. Stay with me, because this understanding can bring not only comfort in difficult times, but also clarity about the reason we are here. Experiencing situations that often challenge us to grow, forgive, and love more deeply. The beauty of this teaching is that it connects us with something greater than ourselves. Knowing that the soul is eternal gives us a sense of purpose and direction, showing us that we are not merely products of chance or temporary circumstances, but active participants in a greater plan, guided by spiritual laws and the very evolution of our essence. Emmanuel reminds us in his messages that the soul chooses experiences that will strengthen, enlighten, and prepare it for future stages, and that each life we live in the material world is a step on this long journey. Have you ever stopped to reflect on how your choices, your challenges, and even your most unexpected encounters can be connected to this wisdom that transcends time? And it is precisely this reflection that makes Emmanuel's messages so powerful and applicable today. They invite us to look within, to understand that we are immortal beings in constant growth, and that what we experience here is not the end, but an essential part of a larger process of learning and evolution. What you will discover now will begin to reveal the secrets of the soul, showing how your origin and spiritual journey intertwine with each step you take in the material world, awakening a new perspective on life, relationships, and the challenges we face daily as we progress. You will realize that understanding the origin of the soul is more than just knowing spiritual theories. It is a key to transforming your perception of yourself, others, and everything that happens around you, leaving a thread of hope and understanding that guides every decision and experience we live. Have you ever wondered why we were born in the exact place and family we found ourselves in? Or why certain situations seem to haunt us from an early age, as if they were part of an invisible script? Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover now could completely change the way you view your life and the challenges you face daily. In Spiritism, Emmanuel teaches us, through the psychographies of Chico Xavier, that the soul's journey to the material world is not random or meaningless. Each incarnation is planned according to the spiritual evolution of each being, and each experience we live is a learning opportunity, a test that helps us grow, understand, and transform our essence. Have you ever experienced moments when you felt that certain difficulties or encounters were inevitable, as if something greater were guiding your every step? This is exactly what Spiritist Doctrine reveals. Nothing happens by chance, and every detail of material life is connected to the evolution of the soul. Imagine that your soul, even before birth, makes choices about the experiences it will experience in the physical world. It knows that certain relationships, professional challenges, or unexpected situations will be fundamental to its growth. Emmanuel shows us that incarnation is, in fact, a precious opportunity to put into practice everything we learned in the spiritual world. Facing trials and expiations that strengthen our consciousness, think about the difficulties you have overcome and the lessons each one brought. Now, imagine that each experience, no matter how difficult it may seem, is carefully chosen to help you evolve, better understand yourself and others. and build a fuller and more meaningful life. The fascinating thing is realizing that this logic of life applies not only to major events, but also to the details of everyday life. The way we relate to coworkers, family, or friends, for example, is part of this learning process. Each interaction brings with it the possibility of practicing virtues such as patience, compassion, forgiveness, and unconditional love. Emmanuel reminds us that the soul is constantly evolving, and that each material experience is a reflection of the choices made before incarnation. An invitation to grow spiritually while going about our daily lives. Have you ever noticed that certain people seem to come into your life to teach you exactly what you needed to learn at that moment? This is the soul's greater plan, acting delicately yet profoundly in our daily lives. And did you know that, according to Emmanuel, even the joys we experience have a spiritual purpose? Every achievement, every moment of happiness, every rewarding experience is a chance for the soul to recognize itself, strengthen itself, and align with its greater mission. Incarnation is not just about overcoming difficulties. It is also about celebrating lessons learned, cultivating love and awareness, and understanding the beauty of the material world as a space for growth. Stay with me, because as we move forward, you will realize that every detail of your life, no matter how simple or complex it may seem, is connected to this soul journey, and that understanding this process can bring more lightness, purpose, and understanding to your days. Now, imagine beginning to see your own life through this perspective. Every obstacle, every unexpected encounter, every moment of joy or pain, all are part of a greater plan, designed to help your soul evolve and draw closer to its true essence. What you'll discover next will reveal how this journey unfolds in the material world, and how Emmanuel's teachings can help you understand and navigate this experience more consciously and transformatively. Have you ever wondered why some life lessons seem to repeat themselves, as if the universe were insisting that we finally understand something important? Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover now could change the way you view your own existence and how you face everyday challenges. Emmanuel, a mentor spirit who worked alongside Chico Xavier, left us profound messages that transcend time and remain extremely relevant to the modern world. These spiritual guidances are not just written words. They are true guides for those who wish to understand their own soul, learn to cope with difficulties, and find meaning in the experiences we live. As we reflect on Emmanuel's messages, we realize that knowledge of the origin and journey of the soul is not only for study or admiration, but also for practical application in our daily lives. Each teaching invites us to look within, to practice self-knowledge, to recognize our own limitations, but also our potential. Have you ever felt lost, unsure of which direction to take, and suddenly something within you revealed the answer? This ability to perceive, understand, and act consciously is part of the transformation Emmanuel proposes to us. It's as if each word psychographed by Chico Xavier were a light, illuminating paths that often seem obscure or confusing. And the most fascinating thing is to see how these messages apply to simple and complex everyday situations. In relationships, for example, we better understand the importance of compassion and forgiveness, patience and empathy. At work, we can see challenges not just as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and learning. Even in small everyday decisions, Emmanuel's wisdom helps us act more consciously, remembering that every action, no matter how small, has an impact on ourselves and others. Have you ever noticed how, when we act with more attention and balance, we can better handle conflicts and find solutions that previously seemed impossible? This is the power of applying spiritual messages in practice. By understanding where we come from and the journey of our soul, we begin to realize that many experiences that once seemed unfair or painful have a greater purpose. Emmanuel teaches us that material life is a learning experience, and that every difficulty, every joy, and every relationship is an invitation to evolve, transform our thoughts and attitudes, and move closer to a more harmonious existence. Stay with me, because this understanding allows us to face challenges with serenity, courage and confidence, seeing each moment as an opportunity for growth, not an insurmountable obstacle. And the most inspiring thing is that these messages don't just require study or contemplation. They invite us to practice. Applying Emmanuel's teachings today means observing our reactions, cultivating positive habits, developing empathy, and always seeking self-knowledge. It's realizing that spirituality isn't distant from our routines, but integrated into every decision, every relationship, every step we take. Have you ever felt the difference that small, conscious actions can make in your life and the lives of those around you? This is the essence of what Emmanuel offers us, a map for living with purpose, peace, and understanding, even amid the uncertainties of the modern world. And as we move forward, you will begin to realize how this wisdom can transform not only your perception of life, but also your choices, relationships, and attitudes. Connecting the understanding of the soul to the practical experience of everyday life, opening paths to a fuller and more conscious existence. And as you reflect on all this, I invite you to make this experience even more meaningful. If this topic resonates with you, leave a comment below with what touched you most. What reflection on the origin of the soul or the spiritual journey touched your heart? Sharing your experience not only helps others going through similar questions, but also creates a connection between us all, strengthening this community that seeks to understand life more deeply and consciously. And if you feel that these messages truly bring some light and understanding to your life, please like the video. This simple gesture helps the channel reach more people who can also benefit from these reflections, allowing Emmanuel's wisdom and spiritual guidance to reach even further. Furthermore, subscribing to the channel is a way to show that you want to continue following this type of content and that you're committed to your own spiritual growth. Every subscription, every comment, every like is a way to strengthen this space, enabling more people to discover the importance of understanding the soul's journey and the practical application of these teachings in modern life. Your participation here makes a difference, because it's what keeps this channel alive, allowing us to continue sharing reflections, messages of comfort, and learning paths that can transform lives. So, take this moment to connect, share your thoughts, leave a comment. Click the like button if you felt these words resonated with you. And subscribe so you don't miss the next step on this journey. Stay with me, because there's still much to discover about how Emmanuel's messages can illuminate our understanding of the soul, our choices, and the way we experience each experience in the material world. Have you ever felt, even without being able to explain it, that there's something much greater guiding every step you take? Something that's not just present in everyday circumstances, but unfolds invisibly behind the scenes of our very existence. Perhaps you've experienced moments when life seemed to conspire to teach us something, even if we couldn't yet fully understand it. It's precisely at this point that the profound teachings of Emmanuel, a mentor spirit who worked side by side with Chico Xavier, reveal through psychographies a truth that transcends time. Our soul does not arise from nothing, is not limited to the physical body, nor to the time we know here on earth. It is eternal, immortal, and carries with it a rich history of experiences, learnings, and choices made in spiritual realms before we arrived on this material plane. Now I want to delve even deeper into this topic, because understanding where we come from is much more than intellectual curiosity. It's an opportunity for real transformation, capable of directly impacting our decisions, thoughts, and how we deal with everyday challenges. Think about your own journey. How many times have you felt that certain situations were inevitable, that encounters and disagreements seemed predestined, and that even the toughest difficulties held hidden lessons? This is no mere coincidence. According to Emmanuel, each incarnation is planned by the soul itself, which chooses experiences and contexts that will strengthen its essence and promote evolution. And the beauty of this lies in realizing that these choices are not rigid or limiting, but rather an invitation to reflection, awareness, and transformation. When we connect with this idea, we begin to see the world in a whole new light. Every difficulty, every joy, every relationship we build carries a deeper meaning. And we're not talking about an abstract or distant concept. We're talking about a reality reflected in every detail of modern life. It's as if the soul has an invisible script, its own intelligence that guides us through carefully selected situations so we can evolve, learn, and above all, discover the hidden truth about ourselves. Imagine looking behind the scenes of your own life and realizing that every obstacle is not a punishment, but an opportunity for growth, that every challenge is, in fact, a chance to expand your consciousness and develop qualities we often didn't even know we possessed. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, exploring how this connection with the origin of the soul and Emmanuel's teachings is not just a theoretical reflection, but a living tool for transforming the way we live each day, understanding that the soul exists before the physical body and that each material experience is part of a greater plan allows us to perceive revelations that are often hidden from the mind's eye but resonate in the heart. This opens space for deeper questions about our choices, the meaning of difficulties, and the impact our actions have on the evolution of our very essence. It is an invitation to delve into a universe of self-knowledge, introspection, and transformation, where each insight can illuminate the paths we travel and help us make more conscious decisions, aligned with the truth that dwells within us. The beauty of this process lies in knowing we are not alone. Each reflection, each learning experience, each moment of discovery connects us to an invisible yet powerful network that guides, protects, and inspires. It's like accessing the backstage of our own existence, where we can clearly see how our experiences, decisions, and feelings intertwine to form the story of our soul. Emmanuel invites us to recognize this presence, to listen to the silent yet profound messages that arrive, and to apply this wisdom concretely in our daily lives, feeling the positive impact on our minds, hearts, and the way we relate to the world and ourselves. Comment below. I'm on this journey too, and share with me what this reflection on the soul awakens in you, because each word of yours helps to strengthen the understanding and connection between us all. Have you ever stopped to reflect on the true meaning of the word soul? We often use this term without realizing its depth, but within Spiritist doctrine, the soul is not just an abstract concept or a romantic idea. It is the eternal essence of who we truly are. Emmanuel, a mentor spirit who worked side by side with Chico Xavier, teaches us, through psychographed messages, that the soul is immortal, that it traverses dimensions and experiences, and that it arrives on the material plane already carrying a history of learning and evolution. Think of the soul as a divine spark, a light that existed even before our physical body, and that carries with it all the baggage of experiences in the spiritual world. It's as if each of us carries an invisible map, drawn by past choices, accumulated experiences, and lessons we are yet to learn. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because understanding the origin of the soul goes far beyond mere intellectual curiosity. It's a key that allows us to access real transformation, one that can change the way we make decisions, perceive others, and interpret life's events. Have you ever felt that sense of déjà vu, or that sudden intuition that seems to guide your actions? This is the soul connecting with its own history, revealing fragments of past experiences that still impact our choices in the present. Emmanuel reminds us that the soul is the fruit of a long journey of learning, and that each incarnation in the material world is a unique opportunity to apply everything already assimilated in the spiritual world. Every challenge, every relationship, every situation we face has a profound purpose, and the impact of this on our daily lives is far greater than we usually realize. Understanding the soul as an eternal and immortal being also brings indescribable comfort. When we understand that difficulties, mistakes, and even losses are part of a greater plan, we begin to see our journey from a different perspective, one that's lighter and more conscious. Imagine your life as a film in which you're not just a spectator, but also a screenwriter and protagonist. Emmanuel reminds us that the soul chooses, before incarnating, some of its experiences, as if planning rehearsals to develop essential qualities such as patience, compassion, courage, and discernment. And even when everything seems confusing or unfair, there's a hidden logic, a truth that transcends immediate vision and reveals itself as we evolve and revisit our own choices. The fascination of this concept lies in the connection it creates between the spiritual and material worlds. Everything we experience, from small decisions to transformative events, can be understood as pieces of a larger puzzle. A composition carefully crafted by the soul itself to promote growth and inner awakening. Emmanuel reminds us in his messages that no one is punished without reason, and that each trial we face is in fact an opportunity for evolution. It is an invitation to look behind the scenes of our own existence. Observe how thoughts, attitudes, and feelings shape our trajectory, and realize that each experience carries a lesson that goes beyond what meets the eye. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this topic, exploring how this understanding of the soul can directly impact the way we live, how we relate, and how we face the challenges of modern life. When we accept that we are eternal beings, that we carry experiences that transcend time, and that every choice has repercussions on the evolution of our essence, we begin to act differently. We begin to value not only immediate results, but the intrinsic learning from each situation. Life ceases to be a sequence of disconnected events and becomes a coherent journey, in which each conscious decision, each internal reflection, contributes to strengthening our essence and opening doors to deeper revelations about who we truly are. This realization completely changes our mindset. We begin to view mistakes not as failures, but as opportunities for growth, to perceive conflicts as invitations to patience and forgiveness, and to understand that every encounter, every relationship, every complex or challenging situation carries a message that can be translated into learning. Emmanuel shows us that the soul not only exists before the body, but that it arrives on the material plane prepared to transform experiences into evolution, obstacles into lessons, and choices into tools for self-knowledge. This understanding can generate a silent but powerful shift in how we view our own lives, the impact we have on others, and the way we connect with the reality around us. When we begin to live with this awareness, every moment becomes meaningful, every decision more thoughtful, and the world around us seems to open up to new possibilities. We begin to realize that the soul is the true driver of our actions, that our experiences are not random, and that every situation has a purpose that often only reveals itself with time and deep reflection. It's like accessing hidden knowledge. It's a silent truth that has been with us since before birth and continues to shape our journey. By integrating this understanding into our daily lives, we feel a sense of alignment, purpose, and even peace in the face of adversity. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this topic, exploring how this awareness of the soul's origin and its immortality can connect with our emotional lives, our thoughts, and our daily attitudes. When we recognize that we are constantly evolving beings, every difficulty ceases to be just an obstacle and becomes an opportunity to transform our mindset, emotions, and decisions. Every reflection on the soul, every message from Emmanuel, every revelation brings with it the possibility of impacting not only our inner understanding, but also the way we relate to the world, creating a multiplier effect of understanding, empathy, and growth. This connection between spiritual learning and practical application is what allows knowledge of the soul to become a real instrument of transformation in the lives of those who choose to observe carefully, reflect, and act consciously. Comment below. This makes sense to me. And share how this insight into the soul and its origins resonates with what you feel and think about your own journey. Have you ever stopped to imagine how the soul, that divine spark we carry, makes the transition from the spiritual world to material life? It's fascinating to think that each of us arrives on this physical plane carrying invisible baggage made up of previous experiences, choices, and learnings, which will shape our journey and our decisions. Emmanuel, alongside Chico Xavier, brought us messages that reveal that this transition is not random or disorderly. On the contrary, there is a deep and intentional logic behind each incarnation, a strategy aimed at growth, evolution, and the opportunity to face trials and expiations that strengthen the soul. Have you ever noticed how certain challenges seem to appear repeatedly in your life, or how some people appear precisely when you most need to learn something? This is no mere coincidence. It is the reflection of a greater plan at work, behind the scenes of our existence. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this topic, because understanding the soul's journey to the material world offers us a transformative perspective on life. Consider your own experience. Every relationship, every conflict, every joy, and every difficulty are not just isolated events, but pieces of a carefully designed puzzle. Emmanuel teaches us that the soul chooses its experiences even before birth, and that each incarnation is an opportunity for learning, growth, and reparation. Trials and expiations, which sometimes seem unfair or challenging, are actually powerful instruments for the development of consciousness and the refinement of morality. Every obstacle faced, every difficult feeling experienced, is a chance to exercise virtues such as patience, compassion, forgiveness, and self-control. Imagine your life as a vast evolutionary laboratory. At work, in relationships, and even in small, everyday interactions, each situation contains a subtle lesson that, if understood, can transform thoughts, attitudes, and mindset. Perhaps you've wondered why certain people seem to test us, or why certain circumstances arise repeatedly. Emmanuel clarifies that these experiences are not punishments, but opportunities for improvement. They function as mirrors, reflecting aspects of our own soul that need to be understood, accepted, or transformed. And it is precisely this perception that allows us to observe life more consciously, recognizing that every event, no matter how small, has a direct impact on the evolution of our essence. And the most impressive thing is that this logic of incarnation is not limited to major events or dramatic situations. Even the simplest details, such as a choice of words in a conversation, a gesture of kindness, or how we react to small frustrations, are part of this carefully crafted journey. The soul uses all material experiences as learning tools, and the more we can perceive this hidden truth, the more we become capable of acting consciously, balanced, and connected to the greater purpose that brought us into this world. Each day, each decision, and each conscious reflection represent opportunities for alignment with our true essence, promoting internal transformation and a positive impact on the lives around us. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this topic, exploring how understanding the soul's journey can translate into practical applications in everyday life. In relationships, for example, we begin to realize that each person who crosses our path is there to teach us something, to reflect aspects of our own personality, or to stimulate our emotional growth. At work, we understand that each challenge is a chance to strengthen skills, develop patience, and test our resilience. Even in moments of frustration or pain, we can recognize that they are opportunities for evolution, for learning to deal with limitations, for expanding our understanding of ourselves and the world. Spiritist logic shows us that there is no such thing as a useless experience. Each event, positive or negative, carries a seed of learning that, if cultivated with attention and reflection, blossoms into wisdom and transformation. And it is at this point that the true power of the soul's journey is revealed. By understanding where we come from and why we are here, we gain the ability to perceive patterns, interpret signals, and make more conscious decisions aligned with our spiritual growth. This perspective changes the way we approach life, providing a sense of purpose, serenity, and connection with something greater. Emmanuel teaches us that the soul, by choosing its experiences, is not only participating in an individual journey, but also contributing to a network of collective learning, where each action and reaction influences not only its own evolution, but also that of those around us. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this topic, because this understanding isn't limited to intellectual comprehension. It has a direct impact on our mindset, our habits, and our daily choices. When we recognize that everything we experience is part of a greater plan of the soul, we begin to see challenges as opportunities, conflicts as instruments of growth, and relationships as mirrors that reflect important truths about ourselves. This vision transforms the way we interact with the world, increasing our awareness of the impact of our decisions and the responsibility we have for our own development. In each moment, we have the opportunity to align our thoughts, emotions, and attitudes with the greater purpose that brought us to this plane. And this realization creates a cycle of continuous learning and revelations that unfold throughout our lives. And by internalizing this idea, we begin to perceive the subtlety of the soul's choices, the importance of each experience, and how each interaction can significantly impact our personal and collective journey. Each moment of reflection becomes a portal to self-knowledge. Each difficulty an opportunity for transformation, and each conscious decision a way to align our existence with the deep purpose that connects us to eternity. Now, by beginning to see life as a sequence of interconnected learning experiences, we approach a broader understanding of the soul's essence and how it manifests in our daily routines, revealing patterns, lessons, and pathways that were often hidden from the mind's eye, but which can be perceived when we learn to look with attention, perception, and sensitivity. Comment below. I'm on this journey too, and share what resonated most with you about how the soul arrives in the material world and prepares for the life we have today. Have you ever stopped to think about what it would be like to look at your own life with the awareness that every experience, every challenge, and even every unexpected encounter has a defined purpose in your soul's journey? Now, I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because understanding this hidden truth can completely transform the way we approach everyday life, our decisions, and the way we relate to the world around us. Emmanuel, in his messages psychographed by Chico Xavier, reveals to us that the soul does not arrive in the material world by chance. Each incarnation is planned, each situation is chosen in advance, and each trial or atonement carries an opportunity for evolution. And the most fascinating thing is to realize that this logic is not limited to major events. It is reflected in the most subtle details, in the decisions we make, the words we choose, and even in our reactions to people or situations that seem simple but actually carry a profound impact. By applying this understanding to modern life, we begin to realize that spirituality is not something distant or theoretical. It is intimately connected to our self-knowledge, how we manage our emotions, and how we develop compassion for others. Imagine facing every personal challenge, every conflict at work, or every disagreement in relationships is a real opportunity for inner growth, a chance to exercise patience, tolerance, and discernment. When we internalize this perspective, our mindset undergoes a natural transformation. We stop reacting automatically to problems and begin to observe, reflect, and choose actions that are aligned with the evolution of our own essence. It is a process that connects us with the behind-the-scenes of life, revealing how thoughts, feelings, and attitudes directly impact the soul's path. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this topic, exploring how this understanding can generate practical and lasting effects in our daily lives. By understanding where we come from, we begin to see challenges from a different perspective. That frustration that seemed unbearable at work can become an opportunity to learn about resilience, leadership, or empathy. A conflict in a personal relationship stops being just a source of emotional distress and becomes an opportunity to develop communication, understanding, and the ability to forgive. Every experience, no matter how mundane it may seem, is part of a larger plan that seeks to teach us something essential for the evolution of the soul. This perspective offers us powerful tools to transform automatic thoughts into conscious decisions, impulsive attitudes into thoughtful behaviors, and feelings of anger or sadness into opportunities for self-transformation and inner growth. And the impact of this extends beyond our own lives. It is reflected in our interactions with others, in the way we connect with the world, and even in the way we understand events that, at first glance, seem unfair or inexplicable. Emmanuel reminds us that every human being is a soul on a journey, and that by applying these spiritual messages, we create a multiplier effect of learning and awareness. We are able to perceive patterns, interpret signals, and act with greater clarity, aligning choices and attitudes with the greater purpose that brought us to this plane. This awareness allows us to face challenges with serenity, see opportunities in moments of crisis, and transform each experience into a practical lesson that strengthens our character and broadens our understanding of ourselves and life. Now I want to delve even deeper into this topic, because applying these messages also leads us to question and observe our own beliefs, habits, and ways of reacting. Understanding the origin of the soul and the logic of incarnation allows us to develop a mindset of self-knowledge that directly impacts our decisions, our impact on others, and the way we position ourselves in the world. With each reflection, we begin to perceive nuances of our personality, recurring patterns, and opportunities for transformation that previously went unnoticed. It's like accessing the backstage of our own life, observing how every detail, every choice, and every experience contributes to the soul's journey. In realizing that we have the ability to act with greater awareness and alignment with our true essence, this perspective also awakens empathy and compassion, because we understand that each person around us is also on their own path of learning and evolution. Every gesture, every word, and every attitude begins to be seen through the lens of consciousness, revealing the impact our actions have on the lives of others and on the building of more harmonious and balanced relationships. By applying Emmanuel's teachings, we begin to develop a more observant and reflective stance, capable of transforming conflicts into opportunities, criticism into learning, and negative experiences into personal growth. This creates a virtuous cycle of internal transformation, where every thought and action contributes to the expansion of our own consciousness and the strengthening of our essence. Now I want to delve even deeper into this topic, exploring how this understanding of the soul and its journey connects with the search for purpose and personal fulfillment. By recognizing that each experience has a greater meaning, we begin to see life more clearly, feeling less fear in the face of uncertainty and more confidence in our choices. The feeling of being connected to something greater fosters a silent but powerful shift in the way we live, the impact we make, in the way we interpret the events around us. Revelations about the soul's journey help us understand repetitive patterns, interpret signals from the universe, and transform challenges into strategic opportunities for evolution. Creating alignment between thought, emotion, and action, this understanding also directly influences our mindset, making us more resilient, conscious, and balanced. We begin to realize that every experience, whether painful or rewarding, is an opportunity to strengthen virtues, correct attitudes, and expand our consciousness. Emmanuel's teachings provide us with a key to interpreting life from a broader perspective, understanding that nothing happens by chance, that every difficulty is a test, every joy is a learning experience, and every conscious decision strengthens the impact we have on ourselves and others. This vision invites us to act more reflectively, thoughtfully, and in alignment with our soul's greater purpose, promoting internal transformation and continuous growth. Comment below. This makes sense to me, and share how this reflection on applying Emmanuel's messages touches you in your daily life. If you've made it this far, you've already traveled with me through a profound part of the soul's journey, reflected on your origins, and begun to see how each experience in material life can have a greater purpose. And you know, it's precisely this kind of reflection that makes all the difference in transforming thoughts, attitudes, and even the way we relate to the world. So, if you feel this content has brought you some insight or awakened something within you, subscribe to the channel. Here, we'll continue exploring Emmanuel's messages, hidden truths, and reflections that truly impact our lives, always with depth and lightness. If you'd like to show that you made it to the end of this video, comment below. I'm with you until the end, or this message was for me. It'll be incredible to see how many people are on this journey with me. And at the same time, it helps create that connection that makes each piece of content even more valuable. And if you felt this conversation touched you in some way, leave a like. It's a simple gesture, but it shows that we're aligned in this quest for knowledge, understanding, and inner growth. There's a video here that complements this topic, delving even deeper into spiritual messages and their practical application in modern life. Click through and stay with me there, because there's still much to discover about the soul, our choices, and the impact we can have when we begin to live with awareness and purpose.